down so it could happen. Are you ready there, Monica?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, being 5:07, appreciate your patience. Hermosa Town Board, Tuesday, December 6, 2022, regular meeting will be started. Roll call, Hendrickson,
Here.
Holsworth here, Kramer.
Yep.
Schumach will be here, but it'll be a little after 6, so I said I understand, work was in the way, so. Acknowledgement of other attendees, we appreciate everybody being here tonight. Please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Was that a Hail Mary? Okay, with that being said, then consent calendar, approval of the November 17th, 2022 regular meeting minutes.
I'll make that.
Okay, Vic Hendrickson will make the motion. I'll second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Is there any conflict of interest declaration from this board tonight?
None that I know of.
There being none, we'll move ahead. We moved item 5 up to engineer. We appreciate Aces being here tonight, and Daniel, thank you for that. We have some stuff to go over here. If you need to, Leah, you can come up here too if you need to spread out paperwork or lay anything out if you'd like to. We'll cover each subject. I'll start with item A, the water heat rehab project, the WRT system. My question on that one, have we had any contact with them yet, or?
Yep, the last results that we received were from May for test results, so we have submitted those as the most recent test results, and we're just getting updated design pricing from WRT.
Okay, excellent. So that brings us up to speed where we'll look forward to some more communication next meeting then. The Hermosa sidewalk project, of course, it is in a position where we're on hold at that, and we'll continue to wait. Sewer project, lagoon design and expansion. As you have in your packet, ACES has started into the design work that we had approved to move forward with. In that design work, she's also looked, since it's been 2 years since we started this project and the pricing was priced from that 2-year project, she put together what our present cells are to what we presented to D8 and R with the 3 cells that are presently there that was described as what we had. That original price, of course, was $680, $277 that was submitted to D8 and R. She went into today's pricing. Then, in them circumstances, her number came out to the $969, $556, $54 in today's standards. We realized on this in discussion that after we did the sludge removal testing, that about 117,000 of that would be able to be removed. Also, we discussed on some of the fencing, that some of that can be removed because of how much fencing's already down there. So we came up roughly about 150,000 that would be off of that 969, which would bring us down, I believe it was about 828 in that number of that portion of it. She also then put an alternative print together which follows DA&R's book schedule on that print, and a number to that, which was the $1,242,152.60. In them standards of that, also we would have the sludge removal fencing in that, so you can figure there'd be about a 150 off of that. The next page of what we had also in your packets was a letter from Andy Brule. as you know, we were approved for 1.2 on that project. On that project, then, if we don't do the Gumbo Lily annexation, and then that will be that we will not do the Gumbo Lily water, sewer infrastructure, or any portions of that project. So, in Andy Brule from DA&R's comment, if we have overruns that we need to use in either the WRT or the lagoon expansion, we would be able to apply for the monies that we had in there from Gumbo Lily and apply them monies towards this lagoon project. So we don't have to go back and resubmit another total facility plan to be able to adopt that and make that happen. So that was great news to understand and learn that portion of it. So Bill Lass also in that letter asked what we were going to be doing from Black Hills Council of Local Government. If we were going to turn them monies back or use them monies, he'd like to know by the end of the year. We will be making that decision and talk about that also as we go down through. So whatever I left out, Leah, I would leave the floor to you, and please bring us through the rest of that.
So for the lagoon expansion, it's just, like you had said, there was an increase in cost just due to an increase in market cost of construction. I mean, that's part of it. That was, if you just took the quantities, it's increased about 20%. We updated a few of the actual quantity amounts, and that's where you see that full increase of 30%. But like you said, if there's things that would be coming out, sludge removal, fencing, we can adjust those. This is still looking at it from a zoomed out view, not final design. When we were going through the design calculations though, what was proposed in the facility plan will only bring the capacity up to about 667 for a population. And based on knowing that you already signed on to accept sewer collection from the Lone Coyote subdivision and possibly future other expansions, a larger capacity would be warranted at this time since you are expanding. So that's where our alternative design came in, to utilize the land that you have out there right now and configure it properly so that your primary cell is 60% of your overall cell area, because that's really how an efficient system would work. That capacity is much larger at that 1600. But then that would reduce your land application needs if you are oversized instead of running right at capacity or possibly, being undersized. That's where we're seeing it now, I think, after testing for sludge, and there's not excess sludge amounts in the lagoon system right now. But there is a need for land application, and I know that that's an issue. So going to a larger capacity would help alleviate that. So you would only have your land application for maintenance, which would be twice a year, ideally. So that's the pricing, and I guess that's the direction that we're kind of needing, being that you guys have agreed to have a design done by the end of December for your state requirements. We just need to have a design direction. If you want to proceed with the capacity of 667, or if you want to go for a larger capacity, so that we have that done into the state by the end of the month.
Okay, and that's why with this larger capacity too, in this design standard, as what ACES had told us about this, and we talked about it at our work session too, even with the standard one, with the longer runs of water coming into the cells as what they are on the original configuration, that where the water comes in on the frontage of it, it would travel down to the end of that cell, travel across to the middle cell, then travel down to the lengthwise of it, and then travel into the last cell. That way then it gives us more holding pattern, holding period. And we talked about all that in our work session, and I appreciated all of that input that we had on that. So with that design standard, then we also talked to ACES that then with where we would be at for our pipe, for our pump, for everything to be located to come out of that design, as we knew where we were going to be at from which plan that we would go to. That night, we all decided that we were gonna stay the course, if monies were there. Until now, we've received that letter from Andy Brule. And to me, receiving that letter from Andy Brule puts a whole different picture on this whole thing, that going to the bigger capacity would be smarter and help us to keep away from the land application as much as possible. If we still have to, fine, but if not, with this design standard and coming into it, we would have the holding period for our eagle eye and be able to go into the 2 cells prior to go to the finishing cell third, to where we would be able to reduce that eagle eye. Even if we did have to land apply, we wouldn't have to worry about the problems of what we are now and a fine every time that we land apply. So, is that correct, Cases?
Yep.
Okay. So, with that being said, you had a question, Tanya?
I do, for ACES. On your numbers, how did you figure out the numbers of capacity on each cell? You said 1,600. How many homes can hold that? But per home, how much are you calculating live in that home?
It's not based on per home, it's based on just number of people, population-wise, for the comparison. So 450 for the existing system, 667 for the expanded system, or 1,600.
Okay, so
Based
how
on
many?
the design
Okay, right.
standards. for the
How many
system.
homes can you hold on 1,600?
How many people live in a home?
Depends. How many bedrooms are in a home?
That's the huge question. That's why we didn't base it on homes, because homes can vary from 6 people to 1 person.
So there's no calculations that you could do to tell us that exactly at 1,600, okay, if there's a 3-bedroom home and there's 2, 4, 6 people living in a home, calculating that in versus homes, how many people can expand on that? Are we gonna be out of the range in a year when we develop everything? And then we're gonna be back in the same boat again because we don't have enough?
The state calculates 2.5 people per home. So for 1,600 population, that would be 640 homes.
So the state calculates only 2.5 people living in one home.
That would be a standard that the state uses.
Okay.
And so when you take that elevation to what we had in our previous one, is what she expressed, where you're at 667 with that original, and then going to the 1,600 in that standard, that's gonna give us a pretty good leeway on that portion of it. And we still have the ability to land apply, but our land applying will be in more of a legality where we should be able to meet the levels of the eagle eye.
Right,
That's the win-win.
right.
And then the
bigger
wind-
you are, the bigger you're gonna process, it's gonna hold. If that thing's gonna hold right, it's gonna hold perfectly.
Correct. Exactly right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, a little bit, Sam, I'm just slightly confused about the 1,600 population number. Because if I remember from the facilities reports, the projected for the 2040 population was 945 in the water facilities plan. In the sewer facilities plan, that number was 1,800, which is obviously was a mistake on the part of ACES, because their spreadsheet doubled everything between the water and the sewer plans. So, and now I'm seeing another number, 1,600. And I'm just wondering where these population numbers are coming from. Because if I also look back at the lone wolf, those numbers are already in the 945.
The 1,600 is not a population guess or statement about the population trend for the town. It's just simply based on the size of utilizing all of the land you currently have in the lagoon property to maximize the most you can do for a lagoon system. So if you maximized your lagoon expansion, you could get to a capacity for treatment of 1,600.
And what his prior question was with our original facility plan, based on that and the numbers we had in our original design, and as what he had referenced with his numbers, what is your answer to that?
I don't have the facility plan. I mean, those are population trends between the water and the sewer, and I'm not sure if they had lone coyote in them or not. Right now, the population, I think, is at 462. And so then you're just predicting, or trending the expansion.
And some of
Here
that,
are your numbers.
some of that facility plan also was judged off of First Interstate at that time
Right.
versus now that you're taking a look at it going into design.
Yeah, because right now, this projected population trend showed 2021 that the population would be 1,500 based on population trends. And it's obviously not 1,500, it's 400 some.
Correct.
But that's straight out of your report.
I'm not arguing the
Yeah.
facility plan at all, or
Well-
discussing it right now. I mean, we're basically, we've stepped now in
Okay,
from
I-
the facility plan into actual design.
Okay.
And so that's where the numbers are coming from, the population that we have today, and what you can possibly do with the expansion.
Right, but what your answer to the question was that your design criteria was to use all of the land. It didn't
Correct.
have anything to do with population,
Right,
usage rates whatsoever.
yep.
It's got one design criteria.
The best you can do to
No, the most you
maximize,
can do.
the most you can do to maximize your design on your current land is for 1,600 people for
Doesn't
population.
have anything to do with 1,600 people.
Our design, that's our design calculation, based on the state requirements for sizing the lagoon. That's where 1,600 comes from. It's not a population trend.
Thank you. So what we're at for our process now is for the board to look at where we need to be for the design standard portion of it, so we can move forward here and put the numbers to it. Is there any other questions from you, Mr. Ferguson? Mr. Van Sandbeek, I'm gonna move ahead here before I come back to you, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Ferguson?
Well, we've got a lot of questions, but I thought the original design was to put berm around the whole property that we owned. That doesn't reflect that I see in the plan here. Because what's gonna happen there 5, 6 years down the road, if you need to expand, then you're duplicating the process. Not to mention the cost of doing it will probably double.
Did you already look at the new plan, at the new submittal?
So that's my only concern. I mean, you can put petitions in it later if need be, but I thought the original plan was to berm the whole property that we had.
No, the original plan that was included in the facility plan, based on what Interstate Engineering had put together, did not include utilizing the full footprint.
So you're basing most of your information off of interstate?
Well,
No.
that's what was in the facility plan. When you say original plan, that was what was in the facility plan, and the preliminary design was already completed by Interstate. And that's the map that's in there. That's that second page that has the facility plan sewer. You can see the 3 cells that they had planned. And we're just saying, based on the design and looking at it, that's the capacity that it would provide. So it's up to the town on which direction you want to go. You can stay that route, but just so everyone's aware that that's not going to double your capacity.
And that's the whole ticket on, I know with P and Z, if we'd have had this presented to us that night, I think we would all changed our decisions and went to the bigger plan. Yes, ma'am.
Ace, if you do the 1,600, what kind of license do you have to hold to facility on that? Because it's over the 500 mark. What kind of license do you have to?
You have to have a certified operator.
And Bobby, you agreed to go to the larger now too, after we've learned that from DA and R?
Yeah.
Tanya?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Lon?
Yep.
Okay. And that's the big thing, and Joan was also in agreement on that same situation as I referenced with her. So now back to the board. Hendrickson, you have questions?
No.
Do you agree on the larger version of the cells also?
Yes.
And especially with the letter from DA&R, which that substantiates where we would still be in the base of where we are. The only thing I guess I didn't ask from Andy Brule was, with that grant money that we were applied with 30%, will that grant money still stay there also, even though we're not doing the Gumbo Lily project?
Well, yeah, because for the sewer, your grant, applicable amount, which I think was like 20% possibly on sewer, it would still apply to both projects. It didn't exclude, like the water excluded the well
Correct,
to no grant.
correct.
But the sewer both had the same grant percentage applied. So that money that you're applying for would still get the same grant pulled out of it. So it's not saying you're gonna max it out. These are still estimates. It would be based on, bid amounts. When the project goes out for bid, what it actually comes in at, where you would actually ask for the money from the A&R.
Okay. And then as we go into this, then I'm going to ask the board to make a motion on what project to go to, which is the recommended layout alternative or the original. And at that, then we go to the recommended layout alternative. Then in that design process, what it will be is Mr. Ferguson, Mr. Irvin will get together along with the boards, and we'll have a work session with ACES and discuss where we want the inlets, where we want the pumps, where we want the directionals, what's gonna be laid out more. And then in them circumstances, we also know we're still going to have the pond doctors in there. We're looking at expansion of pond doctors. If there's monies left in this project that we can apply to pond doctors, UV, any of that other situation, indicators is what we had in the CMOM report, as we had in the settlement report that we had recommended that we were gonna do with the state, then we will also try to apply for them and take care of everything in one shot. So, yes, Mr. Urban.
Yeah, there's a couple things missing on your list, like the cement pads that we're gonna need and valving.
And that'll all go into the design plan is what I referenced to you, and the valving and everything else. That'll all be in that work session and
Yep.
allow her to put it together.
That's in that lower portion where there's a contingency of 10% still. Those are for those details, those fine details of where you want all of those features.
Okay, board, I'd like a motion.
I have a question first.
Yes,
With being under a deadline on when the project needs to be finished and changing the design, do you think that can happen? And how long do you think it will take Andy to approve the new design? Andy and DNR,
30 days,
30 days from January,
or whenever it's submitted.
whenever it is submitted, okay.
Yes, but we just need to be able to have an approvable design to them by January 1, which is a Sunday, so it's by the end of December here. We need to have plans to them.
and we've been told that we can apply for an extension as long as they know we're in design. That is the big thing also. So,
Yeah, we need to have a solution to them, even if it's not fine detailed construction documents. They need to be able to see what you're doing. Be able to be like, 65%, 75% plans complete. So that they can analyze it on their end.
I'll make a motion to recommend the alternative layout, that we go forward with the design and allow ACES to complete the design as what we made a previous motion to allow her to do.
I'll second that motion.
I have a second. Further discussion? Yes, Ms. Hendrickson?
Do we have a contract for her to be working on this?
In the design, have you sent that yet, Leah?
No, it was based on just approval, based on the amount.
So now you can,
for surveying and-
since you know a direction
can
of what we
finalize
are.
it with the scope of work now defined.
All we did is when we got the approval of the water sewer on the DA&R, we made the motion to approve the moving forward with the sewer, and then we made the motion to move forward with the WRT. But now that we know design standards in the plan that she's gonna go, she'll come back with all of that to us, in that expression, and that's where I say we'll have that work session and go through that with both boards so that everybody can have their input and their proper place put in, so. Further, Hendrickson?
I just have a problem with not having a contract.
Well, now that we have a design direction, we will have. One more question, Mr. Van Sambie.
Yes, and you may have answered this, but I'd like to hear Leah. Is this, the alternative design, is that based on having pond doctors in there? Because I noticed that they're not called out in the itemized list, which led me to believe that you were going to an anaerobic lagoon system. Or is it an aerobic lagoon system?
There's an assumption that the existing pond doctors are still functioning and would be reused.
When are they being used currently?
Correct, 2 of them.
But
You must put silencers on. Is that
They're not
what
a
you're
allowed
using?
situation. All their work is underground, so.
Okay.
Okay.
The other
with
question I
that-
have is this is city-owned property,
Correct.
or do you intend to annex it?
Not a problem to this point.
Because then if you do, then your floodplain ordinance would apply. And I'm
Correct.
wondering what you're planning to do with regards to that. Because the lagoon is currently in the 100-year floodplain. Even the top of the berms are in the one below the 100-year floodplain elevation.
Thank you. We'll take that under consideration.
I just want to be in the nearest neighbor. I want that to be addressed.
Thank you. Okay, with that motion being made and seconded, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? I have 1 nay. Motion carried. Next item that we have under engineering, and once you get a design put together, ACES, if you have questions, you can call Mr. Ferguson on as far as inlet pipes, pad, any of that type of circumstance. And then as soon as we can get together, I feel you need to probably send a letter to Andy Brule, let him know that we've made a motion to approve moving forward with a larger layout. I feel you need to let him know that we would like to apply for an extension, and that way we stay within regards of our CMOM, and then have that in positioned where we can move ahead. Then we'll set up our work session, and then we can go through any other details. So, you have a question?
Sort of, shouldn't we have the meeting before she starts the design?
No. She knows the direction, she knows what we want done, and then we can look at it when she does the design, and then we can add to it when we're doing the design. If she has questions about what she needs to do about that project as she's going through it, she'll be able to reach out to you gentlemen, talk to you about it, and go from there then. Correct, ACES?
Yeah, we'll be reaching out, to make sure that we're incorporating the requested items from the town.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am.
Is it in Chuck's contract to be a consultant?
It's in the CMOM that he's in charge with water sewer. And that's what it was listed at in the CMOM, as well as the best management plan. So if there's a change in that when we review his contract, then we will look at that portion then. That'll be in the next work session also. Yes, ma'am.
thank you. Does Ferguson hold enough license to run that facility?
Pardon?
Does Ferguson hold a license to run that big facility?
That'll be something we'll make sure of and we'll look with going to a larger facility if that'll be a circumstance. So, yes, ma'am.
How many more work sessions are you going to schedule?
Well, I have that later in my packet that I reviewed,
Yeah.
the 19 that you brought up, and I have all of them written out on why we did them 19. And then I have the budget number that we looked up, and we're still under budget on them work sessions. So I'll bring that all forward to you also, and I have all that in black and white.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Next item we have, of course, is the Black Hills Council of Local Governments. We had the D8R award, the Brules email that we covered, and I don't think we need to go over any more of that. ACES has pretty well laid everything out. The item E is the Black Hills Council of Local Government, and on that, Bill Lass, of course, is asking about where we're at on the well project, and if we're going to use them monies or if we're gonna move forward with that. I feel that we should make a motion tonight to turn all of the monies back on the new well project and only keep the monies that we would need for Gumbo Lily at this present in case something were to change on the annexation of that portion. If them people feel that they don't want abilities for the infrastructure and the annexation, then that'll be something down the road that'll be a more costly situation. But that's here nor there. So I will make a motion that we return the funds for the well project that we had received from DA&R, excluding only the Gumbo Lily portion of that well project in that facility plan that we are approved for.
I'll second that motion.
Kramer seconds that motion. Further discussion? There being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. The next item is the Town of Hermosa Water and Sewer Extension Project. I believe there was a meeting with you, Kent and Albert, or Elmer. Have you guys had that?
Yep, we had that yesterday. Kent is going to make a clarification with Ann and with DANR
Good.
based on the last comment letter.
Good. Then you'll get back to us, keep us informed on that. If anything, we can do an update at the work session
Yep.
when you're ready for us. I'll appreciate that, and I appreciate us moving forward, and hopefully we can come to a conclusion on that portion of it very soon too. Item G is the Hermosa Hills drainage. Town accepting Marie Street, town accepting Walter Street. Did you ever get that core test from Poulos?
Yep, he did send it where I could download it.
Okay, and what was the results?
So when we were out there, when we discussed it, and I think you discussed it at the last meeting, they were gonna do core results to see if there was 10 inches of gravel surfacing.
Correct.
And they did 4 core tests, at 6 inches, 6.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and 6.5 inches of depth.
The 4.5, where was that on the edges?
Let's see. It was on the edge, one edge, the third house down on, let's see, it would be the south side.
So we're pretty shallow.
Yes.
Because
Did you
why?
get those results?
Pardon?
Did you get those
No.
results?
Thank you.
This is the report from the geotech firm.
Thank you.
Sure, 2 copies, man.
And then we had just put that map together so you could kind of see from their descriptions on where the tests were taken.
Oh, yeah.
Could you
Yeah.
make us some copies for that? Might as well make 6, please.
The reason I did ask about that, in your opinion,
Well, if the town agreed to require 10 inches, they should have 10 inches if you're going to accept the roads.
and that's with, I appreciate the work that was done. We dug up the paperwork from the agreement, and I read through this paperwork. And in that agreement, we had actually looked at the whole process of Hermosa Street specifications that we made on that. 6 inches of base, 4 inches of gravel. We did ask at that time, because we were doing oiling of the roads with soybean oil. So we'd asked that it would be oiled at that time. And then we also had the minimum of the 4 foot, not 5 foot sidewalks out there on one side. And in this particular one, it says both sides. Later, we agreed one side. And then 4 street lights, rather than 3, will also be required. So them are the requirements that we had back when we approved Hermosa Hills on that portion of it. So to me, if they're only hitting a 6-inch standard, which is the base of where we were at, that's gonna mean that they're gonna have to raise some manholes and add some gravel and raise some rings. And we were going to allow them to mag water instead of soybean oil. So I think that maybe we probably need to send a letter in that effect, since this is what we asked for. These are what we provided for that portion of it on our approval of the Hermosa Hills subdivision. There was also some standards in there too that he had made on drainage and lots and seeding, which they are complying to. So there was agreement that they'd handled also, which was quite interesting, that the plat also creates Walter Street and Murray Street along with a 20-foot wide sewer easement allowing connection to Roy's Drive that we approved in this same structure.
And what
So
year was that?
15, April 20th.
Where is the easement located?
That part didn't express, it just, we would have to look probably back on the preliminary plat on what we need, but we can make copies. Keith Anderson was the engineer at that time on that. So I'm looking with the board. Number one, I don't know, Aces, what do you think about sidewalks out there with them ditches? You know, to put them up there on lot side where the shut-offs are is a pretty tough circumstance.
It doesn't seem to be built, planned for sidewalks. And on your current subdivisions, I don't think you're requiring sidewalks with a rural section, like if there's no curb and gutter. So I don't know if sidewalks would definitely be warranted. I would be more concerned with the actual road itself, the road section.
So maybe what we would do is look at the board waiving that responsibility of the sidewalks, but hold to the standards of the 10-inch gravel, raise the manholes, and go from there if that's an acceptable situation from the board.
Along with the mag water?
Correct. Kramer?
Yes. I'll make
Hendrickson?
that motion.
Second.
Kramer makes the motion, Hendrickson seconds the motion. Anything further from Aces on that circumstance? That sounded curable. So if you would please generate that letter too,
Okay.
to go to them, and then include our office, of course, on that, so Monica knows and has that tracking on it. And that way we'll have that circumstance put into situation on that. The only thing I didn't check was the 4 street lights. I think there's, I don't know that there is 4 down there, I think there's only 3.
2, isn't it?
No, I think there's at least 3.
Is it?
I know there's 3,
Yeah,
but I don't know if there's 4.
I don't either.
So we may have to look at that possibility, that if there aren't 4 streetlights, that was the recommendation, and that would also be a requirement. Is that acceptable to both of you? Okay, thank you. With that being said, motion's made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, board. Item H was the Whitney Street Drainage, South Dakota Area Rural Water Report, pending the technician. Pretty amazing on that water down there, just about drying up in that ditch. So it kind of brings a conclusion to what that water is. So I was pretty happy to see that portion of it. There's still some ice, there's still some movement, but nothing. like there was. So I think still we want Mike to come down whenever he can. I don't know that over that 40-degree day, so if that goes to happen, contact Kramer and see if we can have it happen. There's gonna be 3 days this week. It's 45, 47 degrees. So if that can happen, we'd still like to go through and do another check on that. The cammering we did for the retention pond, and until we find out the next test results from South Dakota Area Rural Water, we'll leave that on there and we won't remove it at this point. So item I, the 5th Street repair discussion is pending. Item J, we received an interesting letter. Did that get sent to Mitch too, on that letter?
Which one was
I'm
that?
not sure.
So what you're talking about?
I can make a copy.
Yeah, from Mr. Michael P. Ortner, Hot Springs attorney, in reference to what we sent, and also please make one for ACES on that, if you will, Monica.
Yeah, I think I did email it to them.
In that response letter, I guess I didn't pay attention, I didn't think it was in the packet, was it? No. Basically, we need to discuss that. That would be more of probably an executive session situation, but I do want you to review it. And then you'll be able to talk with ACES, and I and Kramer on the water situation. Hendrickson will also be involved. But what we need to do for our next step after this letter, and have the circumstances of that addressed before we send another letter back. I feel it's gonna be a communication between ACES and you, Mitch, and then comment from the board on it. Did you get one yet, Hendrickson?
No.
Can you please, thank you. And did you get one? There you go.
Anyone else need?
Pardon?
Anyone else need it?
No, I think we got us covered. So, please, and then when you guys get done reading it, then I would like to have them back, and we'll leave them here with Monica until we get an answer back from ACES and Mitch on the direction that we're gonna go. K is a facility plan for the booster water meters, possibly to add to USDA. Have you talked to them lately on Dylan over there at USDA?
No, last time I talked to him, he just needed to know more of a finite plan. DANR is kind of flexible if you guys don't annex and don't do Humboldt Lily projects and those things, their process would start completely over. And it's a 180-day process, so you would have to know exactly what the projects would be.
Yep, and I think now we've given a little more stronger, clearer direction. I feel by the end of December here, we're gonna know. Because with the results of what I've seen so far on the annexation, I fully feel that we'll be turning all that money back, and then we'll just go to USDA for the well package only. And then the booster portion of it, of course, we're in discussion of that being put on to Lone Coyote in the tip, and if that's in the development, Mr. Hague has been brought an awareness to that, and we talked about that in the work session. You were aware of that too, I believe, Hendrickson, you'd heard that we were going to do that with that booster, that instead of going to DA&R and asking for the monies, that we're going to put it into the TIF of Lone Coyote. That way then we don't have to put a user fee on it. They would pay for the booster, have it applied, we would take over possession of it and the maintenance. So it would be a lot better circumstance all the way around, and cost efficiency for our citizens. So that's what our plan is on that project at the present. So,
I had not heard.
yep, and so that's where we're at in that process. That was, like I say, part of the work session that you were absent at when you were ill. So we were on that circumstance of that. So we'll stay in touch on that, And then we'll bring that together when we get a little more clear on annexation portion of it. Then we'll give Dylan.
Yep, and we're just trying to get a better idea of what that booster, cost-wise is going to entail.
Okay, and then the other thing that we were talking about is the water meters, the automation of that. And that, there's a wish list that we're looking at over at Custer County yet. They still have monies available from their budget line. Did we ever get anything back on the 600,000 that she had over there yet from Dawn?
I did email her, but did not get the response yet.
We may hit her again with that in a
Okay.
reply. But we had learned, I'll be right with you, but we had learned that on them also, they have some other grant money of 600,000 that they have not appropriated to any projects yet. So we were wondering if we might be able to fall into some of our projects that we have on our wish list that I'm gonna bring up tonight, and that we'll make a motion to move forward with, to ask them to do, that we already had a list put together on. And what that list will be is the approval of the automated meters. We had chain link fence to finish at our lower pump house. We had, at one point, the booster station, but we're going to move that into the tip. We also had the pond doctors, but if we can handle that and the aerators of the lagoon and what we have with D8 we won't have to include that. So I think the main things that we looked at, one of them was a really big wish list, and that was paving 5th Street. Which would be a $90,000 wish, but anyway, we figured automated meters is roughly 50 grand. We figured that the fencing down below was roughly at the high number, 45 grand. We figured that if we could get any of them 2 items, not to overwhelm them, might be a good situation. So I would like us to put, since we have a bid for the fencing, and the meters, we had one time a facility number on them also, and I think we have that in the archives of what we had quoted that we send them 2 items that we are asking for to the commissioners and ask for their assistance, and I think that'd keep it simple, it wouldn't overwhelm them, if that's okay by the board. And I asked them at the last commissioners meeting about that, said we had a wish list, and that we would like to provide that wish list to them, that it could help our citizens from user fees, and also apply that. And we were very gracious for the 500,000 we got from them, but there's always more. So we appreciate that assistance. So I'd like a motion to allow us to have the ladies put that together for them 2 items and submit it to them before their next meeting.
I'll make that motion.
So Kramer makes it, Hendrickson seconds it. Any further discussion?
Well, mine was backing up a little bit back to the booster station.
Mm-hmm.
Having the TIF take care of it, that's great, but for the citizens that are already here, who's paying for the electricity all the time on that booster station?
The booster is gonna be the booster, just like we had it before. And it's gonna be a benefit to all citizens. And so I think a trade-off of that booster is 150,000 to be put in a TIF, and we pay electricity, and it's a benefit for fire protection, insurance protection, as well as the service of the waters to the different areas.
So we're still going up on the hill with it then?
No, yes, on our hill, in our same pit, which she's waiting on Dakota Pump to come down. Have you heard any more on them?
No, but we did get the schematic of the existing vault to see now if we can get the new pumps to fit within the existing vault.
Last time we talked to them, they wouldn't.
Well, we'll find out, and if not, then that gives us a plan of what we have to do if we have to change the vault. And,
That's why I thought maybe we were putting boosters out there as well, so that's,
no, They have that ability. If they want to put a tower out there and a booster of their own, they're able to do that. That's their ability. So we'll see where we go with that. That was talked about.
And I apologize, I know you guys talked about some of this on that meeting I was sick at. but-
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and I'm glad you're getting up to speed, so that's what it's all about. No question is a bad question, so I thank you for that. Okay, so we have a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. So we'll look forward if Dakota Pump gets back to you, that would be awesome. We can find out where we're at on that portion of the project. It'll be great to see where we're at on the WRT. And then the rural development application, of course, will be pending. As soon as we find out from Gumbo Lily, we'll let you know, Aces. And then as soon as you get some paperwork, get with Mr. Ferguson and Mr. Irvin on anything you have for questions for pump set, pipe, pad, so that way you can kind of plug that into it. What you're thinking on your boost, pond doctors, UV, you know, in that CMOM, we kind of put in there, I think, what was it, electronic type elevation check for the elevations of all the ponds also.
Could be, Chuck wrote the CMOM, so.
I think they had added that in too as one of our solutions on that, so you may have to create that into the rhyme of it all, and then possibly then with that cell size, when you talk to them about it, it may be the possibility of 1 to 2 more pond doctors putting that first cell in. If we're going to that size of 4.4 acres, I'll bet we need 2 more. So if you'll calculate that, that'd be very acceptable. Okay, with that being said, the only other thing we will have is the next question is on the claims. And is there anything further under engineering that I missed,
I
Leah?
don't think so.
Anything from the board further on the engineering? What we'll have is, item 6 is the review of claims and payroll. And I know Monica has presented us a new claims list, adding on the bottom of it the USA Blue Book and ODP Business Solution. And then she has created a new total of the 63,697.46.
Yeah.
And then the question that was also on here was about ACES submittal. No, where were we at? At the top there at the 36,138.85, and I'll let you explain that, Leah.
It's just meetings over a few months here, and then also 60% design, which includes survey, archaeological study, and then preliminary design of the lagoon expansion.
And the majority of this claim is that lagoon expansion, which
Yes.
is already approved through DA&R.
Yep, it's the same price that was listed in the facility plan. We have not.
And that'll
changed the
come back to
engineering
us
design
once we
process.
get the grant monies, the money's put into our account then.
Yep, it's part of the whole grant process.
Correct.
That amount is included as part of the project requirement.
Okay,
So does that bring us up to date with your bill, or a few weeks short, or where are we at there?
We'll be a few weeks short just because we're gonna be pounding on the lagoon design to get it done, as much as possible for the state by the end of the month.
Okay.
That's at 60% level for the lagoon.
Very good.
okay, further questions from the board? So on review of payroll claims, I need a motion to approve claims.
I'll make that motion.
Kramer makes the motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Hendrickson, further discussion? There being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. Next item is law enforcement abates complaints. We have the log report in your file, for you to review if you have any questions. Abatements properties, there's really nothing that we've done further on that with weather on any of them portions, so if there being no further questions on that, then we'll move forward. Next item is legal. Item number 8. As you see in your packet, you had the Hermosa library lease, which we appreciate Bert being here tonight. And I did talk to the librarian at the last commissioners meeting, and also expressed to the commissioners after reading it that everything looked good. Thank you for your attendance tonight.
Thank you.
Grab another piece of cake, you guys.
But with that being stated, then, Linda and I were both at that meeting. As I read through it, I said, I didn't see any problems. I think the insurance was well covered on everything on both sides of it. I had the ladies review it. They both felt the same concerns were covered. And then I had Mitch also review it, and your opinion, Mitch?
It's fine, the lease is fine, the insurance is addressed properly. I sent an email saying that they have responsibility to cover their own personal property, and they also have to carry comprehensive general liability for personal injuries to third parties, and under to be named as an additional insured under their policy. And their insurance is a priority over ours. I assume we have coverage too, but their policy would kick in first. So, no, I didn't see any problem with it. I just thought we were gonna have a rental before, but I understand it's just gonna be utilities, or some utilities.
Correct,
So that's
Correct.
fine.
until the 2028.
Yeah.
So, yep, so I think that's an awesome deal all the way around. Anything further from you, Bert?
Nope, I'm just here representing Jessie. She wasn't able to be here tonight.
Yep, we've asked her. Yes, ma'am.
She's a very nice gal,
She is.
yeah, and she is very appreciative of what you do. I just
And very
wanted you to
helpful
know
for
that,
the
yeah.
organization.
And very helpful, yeah, very, very helpful,
She's very knowledgeable.
yep.
No, I was gonna say on top of her game. I appreciated that, and very much so. I think we're building a great relationship, so. So I appreciate it all.
Okay.
We appreciate you guys here, so
Yeah,
that's a biggie all the way around.
we do appreciate the space. Just wanted to be here in case there was any questions that I needed to relay back to her.
I need a motion to approve the lease.
I'll make that motion.
Kramer makes it, second by Hendrickson, or, yep. And so, any further discussion? There being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Bert. Appreciate that. Yes, ma'am.
You're moving way faster than my mind is, I guess, tonight. Back to law enforcement. I did see, law enforcement out at about, I think it was 10 or 11 o'clock the other night, just making the rounds around town. So, I don't often see her out, and I just wanted to make that point that I have seen it a couple times since the last meeting, so.
Good.
Same here.
You too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
You haven't seen her in your neighborhood? Okay,
No, I've seen Seth Thompson more than I've seen her traveling around, so, but,
I know they were out by Terry's the other night, so they are out.
yep, that's good.
I've seen them by the school as well at the time when kids go.
thank you.
Okay. We can make a motion to remove the Hermosa Library off the agenda.
I'll make that.
Hendrickson makes it,
I'll
second
second
by
that.
Kramer. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Of course, planning and zoning, there wasn't anything at all. We had a great work session. We were gonna have a special meeting and discuss some of the items, and with not having a quorum of board members, what we ended up doing is just making a work session out of it. And we still went through the items that were on the agenda, which were very helpful. Sorry Mr. Urban was ill that night. It was a great meeting and I think we accomplished a lot. It saves hours at these meetings because we've already brought everything up to speed. And everybody's involvement all the way through, so. Item 10 is Public Works. We have committee report. And item B is the street light repairs, water sewer department update. And then I have a report on lighting needs. So, Mr. Ferguson.
The lights, they have not responded to my last phone call. I can call them again, but they were kind of waiting, I guess, for a weather break. But the lights are here and they're been notified, so it's just a matter of getting down here. Water, we're still in progress of changing stuff at the well house. We're looking for a little better temperatures to have that door open. One thing that did happen in the meantime, the furnace down there quit on one of our coldest days. But we were able to revive it. And we're probably going to have to buy another, like milk house heater or something, a little standby electric heater. The one we had in there went kaput a couple years ago. We've got one in there now that is mine, that I took down in a hurry to get things kind of warmed back up in there, and we'll take another. So, and Nelson's did respond right away and corrected the problem in the stove, so
Good.
wasn't a disaster. Could have been.
I wouldn't buy a milk house with them nice thermostatically controlled heaters they have now that are uprights that are safe. If a guy's gonna do it, spend the money on a good
Well,
one.
it's a similar one, you know, they've got several different kinds. The one that's in there now is a tower heater that oscillates and has a different temperature setting
Yep.
on it and one thing and another.
Yep,
But that was the type that was in there before, that little square heater that's out there.
yep,
I don't know,
So-
you can get them for 35 bucks.
correct. That's why
The
it's,
better ones, milk house ones are 20 bucks, and the better ones are a little higher.
do we need one in both? Just that one would
The
be good.
pump house is heated by electricity.
Right, but that's why I didn't know if something, till we get the generators. If we get a generator, then it may be good to have something there too, but in case we
The other
have
one's just
power.
radiant heat, and some of the wires are corroded and loose on the valve. So it didn't start. Pilot was on, but it just didn't start. We've had trouble there with the thermostats because of the corrosion from chlorine gases. But we've got one in there now that's sealed, and we haven't had any trouble with it the last year. So,
Okay,
have
have you checked the generator? Ran it?
yeah.
It's firing okay and
Ran it,
everything's good.
2 weeks ago, something, 3.
Good, thank you. Further,
I took the back key in yesterday, sent it in, as our annual. We're probably gonna have some, talk to the mid-comment, but we probably might have some end of the year samples that we need to take. There'll be a quarterly in January, and I need to contact those people because we've had 4 quarters that were in compliance. I'm hoping they're gonna put us on 6 months or maybe even a yearly.
yeah,
I have to talk to them directly to find out, but
just get with Kramer and then you guys can call and make that report then and see what they say.
the lagoon, when we did the pumping there, we had, must have been Monday night, wasn't it? We had 120,000 gallons left that needed to be pumped out.
See, and that's item G,
Yeah.
or I guess item L,
it's
so
under sewer.
we'll get down there once you get through your other reports, so.
Okay. I guess the next thing is the lighting that you were gonna look into.
Yep, and that's where I talked to Lonnie. He's been working out of town, oil rigs and all of that. I'll call him tomorrow morning at 7. And we'll set a schedule and then we'll come down and drive that list that I had, see availability and get a hard copy number then from him, what we'll have and if there's available poles or not, whatever he can do to help us and see what we can put together on that. So I'll keep you updated as I know more on that.
Did you follow through on the solar?
On the what?
The solar lighting, did you follow through on that?
No, not yet. I want to get his number first, see what he does, and then see what his opinion is on the solar portions of it too, and then see if that's an option.
He's gonna be against it because it doesn't use electricity.
Yeah, but I mean, for them to set the pole.
Yeah.
And that's what I figured, if we can get him to set the pole, even if we go to the solar. And I talked to Lonnie about it a little bit and said, you know, if it's too far out of our budget in the presence, we may have to go that way in the beginning here just to get light on these areas that we need to. And he said, I get it. And as we get it to the ability we can run power, then we will. And that was our discussion. So he said, nope, I understand. I know where the budget numbers are for everybody right now. So I said, that'll be a great approval. So, yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to note that, you know, the lights do cost us a lot of money. Monthly, yearly, the maintenance, the changeover. I have recently driven in Rapid Valley several nights. My granddaughter moved out there and they do not have any streetlights. And it is flat dark out there. I mean, it's dark out there, which is great if you're looking at the stars. But I know any law enforcement we've ever had in Hermosa requests more street lighting. And I get that. But it is always an option if the citizens would like to take those dollars off of the budgets. So I just wanted that notated.
Thank you.
Dan, I got a question. What's the street that runs east and west below me?
Whitney.
Whitney? Have you driven up and down that at night?
That's the one of streets that I've got on there, Bill, because there's 10 lights that I want done. 4 of them going up Whitney Street, and then there's Folsom Court, there's Vilas that needs some area, Manning that needs some area, actually up by you, that needs another light. So I have 10 of them that I have drove around and have on that list, so.
I know that street that runs down below me down there, people walk that thing all hours of the night, and I don't think there's one light left down there.
No, there's none.
Nothing.
Because there's no wire. There's only one on the corner there of 3rd Street, and that's the only one.
Okay, thanks.
Let it be known that we'll probably have to find Schumacher because she doesn't have her elf suit on. We were
Sorry
hoping
guys,
that
I
she-
had to change.
So, but no, Bill, that's what I'm looking into.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
There was a street light on the corner there between me and Bill. It was on my meter, so I haven't taken it down.
Okay. Right, which, that was the one up on the top side, down below by your shop.
By the old schoolhouse.
Oh, sure.
Right on the corner there between me and Bill.
Did they take the pole out?
No.
Good. So that's one we can add
I
back
just
in.
had them shut it down because they were hitting me $56 a month for that light, and I didn't think I should pay that.
Okay, thank you. Then on that, item C, the land application contract was already completed, we just haven't removed, motion to remove that.
Make that.
Hendrickson makes it, do I have a second?
Sure.
Second by Kramer. If no further questions, all in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carried. The South Dakota Area Rural Water Daily Readings spreadsheet. I don't know, that's something, once we get Mike back down here to do our spreadsheet, that we'll review that, go back through that, and see what our loss is. Next meeting, I think we can have a better idea. I'm really hoping Mike will come down this week and do that test again. Were we at the 2 million again?
Mark,
On the loss?
On the wall.
Water
Water
loss?
loss.
Oh, I haven't checked in. Last time it was over 1 million, a little bit,
So it's come down a little bit.
yeah.
So that's something where, that's why we need Mike to come down here and do another test.
Something on that's really weird because the pumps haven't run for 2 days. So something's screwed.
Something, yeah. We're hoping, as I read through all of them sheets that Gail had from all the rural water and all of the Midwest and all of that stuff that you had that puts the sewer in compliance, water in compliance, and the differences. And their sheets are heavily indicating meters, and I don't know if you guys have changed the plumbing down there yet or not.
I just went through that, yeah, we're going to try to get that down in the next few days.
But I fully wonder if there's a circumstance within them situations, but if we get Mike down here one more time and go through as what he did in his comprehensive test last time and finding what we found, that'll give us peace of mind. Then we go back to the next level on our meters. So I think that's huge.
We still keep finding, every now and then we find a little leak here and there. We did find where we had to go work on somebody's meter, it froze, and their water spigot was on the wrong side of the meter. It's no fault of the owner now. Somebody, whenever they put that in, or plumbed it wrong, he didn't know that, he didn't know any better. It's not hooked up anymore. But there was a lot of gallons lost there because all the leak was before the water meter, that was before the water meter. So we are finding some of these little bitty leaks all over the place.
Yeah, I don't think it'll quite equate to a 2 million, but
No,
that's
but
why.
every little bit helps.
Okay, so we've got the removal of the land application contract. Daily readings, we'll see about the South Dakota area rural water. Getting Mike down here, if you people can please proceed with that. CMOM discussion, we'll tie right in with land application penalties. We had that latest letter, and I'm assuming that everybody had that letter. Basically, the settlement agreement number 12 states the town shall pay $500 within 30 days of the violations for any authorized land application. We're aware of that one. Settlement agreement number 12 states that the town shall pay another $500 within 30 days of the violation for any unauthorized land application. And then the town needed to pay that $1,000 by November 27th, 2022. In the circumstances that have happened, as Mr. Ferguson was getting ready to explain, they ran out of fuel and had 120,000 gallons left to pump, and went ahead and pumped it on the 1st. In our settlement agreement, of course, what it said, black and white, was that on the 31st of October is the last available date that we can pump. Land application and treated domestic wastewater shall occur only between April 1 and October 31st of each calendar year. The department will not approve a land application between November 1 and March 31st. This was the last agreement that we just signed with them, not even 2 months ago. And we asked about the operation as far as what we put into the CMOM that Hendrickson had asked about, and it says, all water sewer related operations and maintenance, O&M activities are performed by one full-time contractor and one in training employee under the supervision of Mr. Ferguson. Responsibilities related to the sanitary sewer system include response to emergencies such as sanitary sewer overflow, response to customer calls, sewer line preventive maintenance, location of underground utilities, identification of system inadequacies, and other unrelated functions. The Public Works contractor performs maintenance work on both collection and service lines and tap installation. So, the proper operation of this should have been, if you guys had that problem and with us being under the microscope, there should have been a call to DA&R that morning, immediately before we did anything. And then got their approval to go ahead and do this. I mean, there's 13,000 reasons why we should be doing this. And we expressed that in our last condolences, that we brought that up to make sure that we were supporting and backing, that we didn't want to go backwards on this situation. And now here we are again, under the microscope once again. And the understanding, number one, the sewer department didn't know about it. Water department didn't know about it. I didn't know about it until we seen the report. We went through the report, went through the logs, the notes, which are, I don't think they're in this packet, but in the circumstances that I have in my packet with them logs, it flat states, and that's what we sent into the state, was that log of events that took place and that occurred. So the minute they seen pumped on 11/1, the bells and whistles went off. And right away, here we call, sitting here thinking, no, that's got to be wrong, you know, that we were done on the 31st. And she said, no, not for what your logs and your notes are, which the flat states in here that they had 2.5 hours of pump time on November 1. And it's, or 3.5, I'm sorry. So that's where our extra $500 fine came from. So I don't know what the board, on what your feelings are on them circumstances, and, you know.
Well, in the rebuttal, we had 120,000 gallons left in there. And I'm quite certain if I would have been able to call them, I could have probably got, we've had 2 or 3 day extensions before. So if I would have been able to call them directly and talk to them, he probably would have.
You could have.
Not a big deal.
Monday morning.
Not a big deal for 4 hours.
Monday morning, you should have got a hold of Kramer. My whole positioning on this, Chuck, is nothing against your performance, your job, or your work. But we've got Bibles that we have to follow now. And the circumstances of them, if we don't, and I know it's not a big deal to you, you think it's just a big humorous thing, and I'm sorry for that. But the circumstances are, if we don't follow these rules and regulations, the heat's gonna be on us for a longer period of time. We really had a great rapport, and we're trying to work with a great rapport on this. I know 500 is far from 13,000, but still in my circumstance on that situation, we need to follow the process, and I don't know how I'm gonna get that through to you, and the importance of getting a hold of Kramer on any call that's made, or any communication that you do. Monday morning, if we needed that to be done, we could have made that call to DA&R, as I expressed, and then we would have gotten the approval to go ahead, I'm sure, because the ground wasn't froze up, we were in perfect circumstance. But we have to cover our bases on every circumstance. So, in my opinion, the second fine should be addressed to you. When we put, I didn't have the time to come up and get the letter of reprimand that we put in this file from the last one, but in the motion that we did in that letter of reprimand, that any circumstances that happen that go against any above and beyond of what we've got in these reports, the CMOM and the Better Management Plan, that consequences will be the fine. And that's my opinion only. I understand that. It's not anything against performance. It's not anything against the job done for the years that has been done. We're in a different era, a different generation. The girls bust their tails to do the reports, follow up on your spreadsheets, trying to put together a good plan. And if they don't have cooperation, these circumstances aren't gonna happen, and it's only gonna make it more difficult for us. So we need to follow the protocol that you filled out and that you sent in to the state. We have to follow that protocol. And this Bible is thick on the CMOM of what we have to follow. Board, what do you think? You had your hand up?
I'd like to know, Chuck, why didn't you call on Monday?
Needed to get with Kramer and call. You need to get with the department, or Hendrickson, or you, sewer department, is what needed to happen to make the call.
We started pumping that at about 5:30 in the morning.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess in Chuck's defense, if he started pumping at 5:30 in the morning, who was he gonna get up and who was he gonna call at that point in time?
I guess my point though is,
And I don't understand why he has to be supervised to make calls like that. He's an adult man that knows what he's doing.
I appreciate that, but also, have you read through this, Vicki?
Yes,
On the
I
CMOM?
have.
And what is the
I
compliances
was
of
up
it?
here half a damn day trying to get it put together.
You did the best management. The
Well, that's
CMOM
true. That's true.
is the other one that is also something you should have read that needs to be addressed, that he is a contractor.
I know
And that we
that.
have elected officials, and in here it states with them elected officials that we have department heads within the elected officials that have them jobs. And that communication needs to be with that board.
Oh, don't go there.
Ma'am,
Don't
I'm
go there.
only stating what's in the
Don't go there.
facts.
You went 6 months that I didn't have a
Ma'am?
committee and nobody gave me any
We,
communication.
please, bring it back to order. Do you have
I
any
the
other
right for my
comment?
verbalization too.
Do you have any other comment, ma'am?
Not at this time.
Kramer?
Well, it's a bad situation. There's no doubt about it. It states, I understand the fact that if the pump ran out of gas or wasn't working or whatever and it didn't all get pumped, but there's circumstances where that's concerned also. And, you know, we've been pushing for 3 weeks. You know, we need to get this done, we need to get this done, we need to get this done. And it got done. Thank you, it got done. And that will help us in the spring. And we do appreciate that, absolutely.
We were pushed right to the deadline.
I know. But things are only gonna get worse.
It ain't gonna go away until that cell's put on. We'll get fined for everything
Well,
we do.
We're already aware of it.
We understand that.
Just-
We understand that we'll get fined for the alkali issues, but we shouldn't have to get fined for applying on dates that aren't allowed without permission. I mean, it just shouldn't happen. And it can't happen, Chuck. That being said, it just can't happen. We have enough things going on in this town that what we can do right, we have to do right. Because there's other issues going on all the time. Sorry.
No, continue, Ed. You've got the floor.
Well, it sucks, that's what it is.
So, yes, sir.
Okay, I gotta stick up for him a little bit here. He didn't make that call. I did. The way I had understood the CMOM was we had till the 1st. And so at 5:30 in the morning when I had the fuel over there, I started pumping. I'm the one that made that call. And I was that's my screw up. I just assumed it wrong. I thought till the first meant on the first. I didn't realize it was the 31st. It was completely my call there, because I went over there by myself and got it going and started it and pumped.
Appreciate that. But like I say, Mr. Ferguson sat here and filled this out. He should have told you that, hey, we're done. And I said it several times in October. We have till the 1st. We're done at the 1st. 31st, we're done. Let's get this thing done sooner. And we're not even gonna go backwards on the circumstances of all of that. So I need to know what the board decides or wants to do here. Are we going to, we've already paid the penalty. Are we going to hold Mr. Ferguson responsible for the above and beyond penalty because he didn't follow the CMOM report? Or are you going to allow it to be as it is and we pay that and move forward? Put a letter of reprimand in his file once again that these circumstances can't happen. We did that before and said the repercussions of the letter of reprimand were the fines would be applied to him.
Well, in light of what Chuck Irvine just told me, then basically, I would turn around and go ahead and pay the fine because of that, because he came forward and admitted the wrongdoing and so forth, and for that, we very understanding. I would go ahead and pay it this one time, and then,
So, and then a letter of reprimand
yes,
in both files?
yes,
And that's your motion?
yes.
And do I have a second?
Yep.
And a second by Hendrickson. Further discussion? If none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Opposed? Nay. Motion carried. Motion to take the CMOM discussion off. I do recommend you please read that carefully. And land application penalties off. Do I have a motion to remove
Sure.
them?
Yep.
Kramer makes the motion, Hendrickson seconds the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. The agreement for performances of service of public works and town maintenance will be on our next work session. That's basically his agreement, contracts, the water and the sewer. So we'll print copies up for each of the members, and also with you folks. We'll look at the next work session, hoping we can combine them with P and Z as we always do, and combine them with ACES at the same time, and then do the review, and any changes or additions that need to be put in from you gentlemen can be done. And then the board members likewise can have the same circumstances, and we'll have that. So if the ladies won't mind, please make some copies up of that agreement, have them here, and then the board members can come up and pick them up at their will, and we'll move forward with there.
And when are we thinking for that work session?
I'm hoping that ACES will have something there by the 20th. Isn't that the next P and Z?
No, next P and Z will be the
13th
and then the 27th.
I would say hopefully by the 27th, because we'll have to follow that extension. And we'll check on the 14th and 28th, correct?
13th and 27th.
13th and
Oh, yeah.
27th.
Okay. Yep.
27th. I don't know if I'll be back from Mill Lake. That's really too close to Christmas to plan it, in my opinion.
And next week, I don't know that ACES will have anything drawn up by then.
Vicki, when would you be back by?
I have no idea at this point. We might not come back until after the 1st.
We may just have to wait and kick it in and just have ACES go ahead and put an extension in to the A&R. And then after the 1st of the year and we let everything settle down, maybe we'll hit then P and Z then.
Can you do that?
It's the only way we can do it. As long as it's in design, we're gonna be okay.
So I
We've
have,
already done the archaeological, they know that's going, so that portion of it's all good.
we had an excellent work session the last time, missed 3 people.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I understand you're working. My question here is there a night of the week that would be better for either of you, Vicky, Terry,
I've,
that would work better for meetings, for any meetings? I mean,
I've changed my schedule around and I'm getting off at 5:30 on Tuesdays.
Good. Cause our big thing with that is that we can have P and Z here
So-
too.
I can,
you can
as
do
long
that.
as there's no cops, I can run that road. I can run that road.
You can do whatever
Good.
you want.
We'll look
As
forward
long
to
as I
that.
can cruise 85 to 90, hey, I'm good going down there.
Vicky?
Excellent.
Well, my first thing is I object to how many meetings we're having. And I know I'm going back in history, but I had one and was flogged
Excuse me.
and yelled at and screamed at.
Excuse.
And I can't quite comprehend the amount of money being spent on extra meetings.
If we may, I'd like to go in, if you'd like, on all of that.
Go for it.
You know, because
Oh, good.
with the 19 work sessions that you're referencing, 2 were budget. 1 was Black Hills Council of Local Government when we went into the facility plans. 2 of them have been public works on what we've done for the CMOM report for the best management plan. 1 on legal with DA&R for where we've been at on our North Water Sewer and Southern Black Hills Water. 2 others, Public Works Legal, when we went into the fine process. 1 was the library lease that we went through. 2 more in July were law enforcement contracts that we needed to get established and set into place. 1 was Bob King on resignation. 1 was equalization. 1 was an ordinance amendments that we went through. 1 was the Main Street lease on the building next door, was also included in that. Operating agreement with the sewer issues, abatements, and garbage rates. We had the annexation public hearing was one of them. We had the DA&R legal discussion again, further down the road on what we're doing with what we're doing now and Public Works. South Dakota DA&R facility plan defendant on as far as what we're doing with the lagoon expansion. Removal of the citizen from the office was also included in that. Asset mapping by Jill that she went to the class on and brought all of that out. And then we had 2 on the auto meters to put that in place. So every one of them was in circumstances, and what we had budgeted, we still have $1,400 in the budget for what we have in our budget on special meetings.
That's great. That's just absolutely super.
So
I'm just
with that
saying
being
that
said,
with
then
the meeting that I had, I have validation also.
we're not
And-
looking backwards, please.
You got 2 choices. I can either verbalize here or I can verbalize out in public.
You already are. So
Now
ma'am,
you know why.
so with that being said, we were in the sessions of the meetings, we'll leave them set where we're at. And with that, we'll take where the performance maintenance will be set up after the first of the year. Do you have a question, Kramer?
I was just gonna comment on the meetings. And that is that, that does seem like a lot of meetings. But I also know that there has been a lot going on this year. And I can't, that's neither here nor there. I don't know what was going on then. I wasn't here then. I'm talking
Yeah.
about now.
Right.
And now there's been a lot going on and we've needed those. And in the work sessions, the last 2, P and Z, all the P and Z members felt like it was very productive. They learned, they appreciated the fact that we didn't have any of the legal work, the bill paying and the motions and all the things that have to be done at a regular meeting. Everybody appreciated the fact that we did not have to deal with any of that, and we could talk, we could hash over the issues that we were talking about. And I won't disagree. I mean, I've got a lot of things going on in my life that those extra meetings, it cuts away from my family time, as it does everybody's, or some, whatever, socializing time or sleep or whatever it is. But I took an oath that I would do what the town needed to do, and I feel like those extra meetings are a part of that. That's my comment. And
Thank you. Item 10, or 11, excuse me, is finance officer. Monthly financials.
Yes, that I could not give yet because we're working with transferring from Branyan to G-Works. We're finishing all the November data, transferring to G-Works, so it's taking a little longer than planned. But hopefully I'll have that by the next meeting.
Yep, and we talked, and that's fine. Any department updates?
No.
Midwest Assistance Program?
No. Golden West still waiting on contract. I'll contact them this week again and ask them to send it before the next meeting.
Okay, I didn't know if you guys received that or not, so.
No, not yet. ARPA funds, the check that we got, I did talk to Ben and he suggested to put it under,
Is it general fund, wasn't that?
yes, it will go in a general fund, but first if we could put it under certificate of deposit for 30, 60 or 90 days until we actually needed to use it, that way we would earn some from
Yep.
interest.
Yep.
So, I don't know how long we're actually gonna can
It'll
keep
be
in
a
the
spring
bank.
project
So,
to midsummer, so
So 90
it could be in
days.
there 6 months.
Yeah, at least
Okay.
90 to start with.
And
at
there'll be
least
draws.
90.
Yep.
Okay.
And there'll be more involvement, like we had said, with the DA&R turning the monies back on loan part of it for the water. We still have the Gumbo Lily on the water side of it. If we decide not to use that, and something happens where with the latest test, if we would have had a more updated test, we're gonna go off of the old one. If we have an overrun there, we can use that monies on the water side of it, that's grant money, for the WRT too. So that was in Andy's letter also. So both ways, it's helpful that we have the 500,000, but if something happens where they have overruns, like everybody, once again, we started on that 2 years ago also, on the WRT. So
Okay.
yeah, that's great,
So I'll put it under for 90 days to start and then.
at minimum.
Okay. Next is Black Hills Area Finance Officer meeting, which is tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. I think it would be good for me to go, just to get to know other finance officers.
Where is that one?
It's in Somerset,
Oh,
starting at 10. So I would just need board approval to go during office hours.
and would you be missing anything with G-Works or anything big going on here? And can that be postponed so that you can go to this?
Well, I think I would be back by 1 or 2 o'clock, so I
Oh.
can still finish what I need to finish.
I'd make the motion to allow Monica to go to that.
And I have a motion by Kramer, second by Hendrickson. Did you need Gail to go along with you or anything like that, to introduce you or anything like that? Or-
No,
Good,
Should be fine.
good, good.
Unless she wants to.
I'm just gonna say with the option, if you did want to, if nothing else, to meet with everybody and let them know that you may be, you know, retiring in 24. So,
I talked.
she's good to go.
I talked with other from Keystone Finance Officer, and I told
Yep.
her that I might be there.
excellent.
So
Okay, fantastic. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And then we have to take Gail Bodeker off the Pioneer account,
yes, and
which,
if we could specify who stays on my account as well.
yep, and so on that, which right now Kramer, I, and then Monica will be the three that will be presently on there, so, yes.
Are we ready for that, Gail? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I had a talk with her first too about it, so. So I need a motion that you, I, and Monica will be the three
Yeah.
signatories on that.
So I
You
made the
can't make the
motion, I
motion
can't
and
make
you
the
can't
motion.
make the motion.
Right.
I'll think about it.
I'll make the motion.
Hendrickson makes the motion,
Second.
second by Schumach. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. So we can remove F and G. Motion to do so.
I'll make that.
Hendrickson makes the motion, second
Okay.
by Kramer. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carried. You had your sheet on old business, item number 12 on the annexation Gumbo Lily Fairgrounds Place, McDermott. Approval has already been done, of course, to proceed with that. The letter was there. We're waiting for the other results to come back. Pretty much Fairgrounds Place we knew was not. And then Gumbo Lily, we still need to hear back. The only thing at the work session that we made mention that we forgot to put in the letter was by the 15th to have the letters back, so we knew, we didn't put a real deadline on it. We're hoping that maybe what it may be is we might have to make a phone call to them and see with the ones that have not replied on Gumbo Lily, who is and isn't going to still be in them circumstances, and then line out from there. So that would be the only thing, and I don't know if the ladies have time to come up and help make calls. I know Joan had mentioned, Tanya thought maybe if she was free, and Bobby, that maybe we could, pardon?
Next week I could.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be something where, if you ladies wanna get together and come up and go through that list and we make calls, find out yay or nay, it just makes it faster, easier for us to get back and know who's gonna be where, when, why, and what monies we can apply where, and it'll make it faster for the engineer to ask Andy Brule for transfers and fundings into our projects then, so that would be greatly appreciated.
Don Craig, you don't own that property anymore.
The town sign,
Ray Cooney bought it.
we have
Okay.
paperwork that came back from Mike Wiley on that,
That's all I'm going to
and he said we normally use ACM panels instead of plywood for these types of signs. He had put together what the sign would look like, what the fines, the quantity of 475 each for them, is what he had quoted. Summit Signs also had put a quote together, 2 4x8 plywood, 4 colors. Did they put a number on here? I thought they did.
475 each.
The 475 was the Rosenbaums. And the other one was
This is-
Summit Signs.
No, Rosenbaum's was the 2 for 1,200, and then
Yeah,
Summit
yeah.
is
2 for 1,200.
475 each.
Okay, yep, I see that now, thank you. And Conrad's never come back with a quote.
No.
And it looks like both of them use the Nudo sign or ACM panels is what Rosenbaum uses.
Mhm.
Where is the price at for?
So, keep going. The Summit.
Okay. Okay, and this one here is the 1,200. Thank you.
So it'd be, you know, 1,200 or 950 from Summit Signs.
No, I built the 950.
This is something we have to do.
I thought it'd be good to
I
make a
know.
motion
I know.
to do
I'm-
the yard
it's-
waste dumpster signs.
I
Unless you
know.
wanna, since we've been working through it with P and Z, put it on the work session and make our decision then. I mean, it isn't like we gotta have the signs tomorrow.
So what does the sign look like now, after we revised it?
That was one. Not in it.
I don't know if you keep it. No,
I mean, we're all here.
Low and red in the middle.
No paper bags?
Three things here.
Isn't that biodegradable paper?
Just
They still don't
As
have
a
any bag of
proofreader,
items.
I hope the change paper
Didn't what?
says no residences only.
Yep, you did.
Okay? Because I haven't seen a house dumped.
That was so funny. Yeah, we got that out of there, honey. Thank you.
It did give me a good chuckle.
Yeah. Gave us all one. Several, actually.
Let's go with
No
Summit.
nose on there.
What do you guys think of it? Go with Summit.
Ooh, are you waiting?
Do you want me to wait on you?
No, Dan can.
Okay. I think most of you guys go with Summit. Yeah.
Go with
Just
Summit.
kidding, I'm just kidding.
So they think, the three of them go with Summit?
So Summit is actually plywood?
No,
No, it's not.
What does the board think?
Board, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the first one.
Oh.
It's plastic.
We'll do some calling on it, we'll put it on our next work session, and then we'll do the comparisons of it. I'm sure it's signboard is what they'll
Okay.
have, but we'll make that call and then we'll check on that. I'll call them personally and make sure it's where we're at and what we're at for material. And then we had actually talked about putting 2 on one instead of 2 signs at one point. And then that way we could just put it to where it was inside of the back of the other and not have to do 2 signs. So I'll ask them that question too. Then we'll put it on our work session.
Charge for the lettering, not
And on the material, yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right, the item C and D are both, of course, pending due to, you know, the weather and 2 people that don't wanna, get out there. And it's, so item 13
I don't
is
know
new
what's wrong with
business.
those 2
and
people.
he never power washed it, so he couldn't do it.
I'm not gonna put blame on him or anybody else right now, other than myself, but.
13 new business, we had the fencing estimates already, and we'll probably be able to remove that. I am going to do the higher estimate to send to the commissioners, just to make sure we're covered with everything. Item B, the hazard mitigation. Pardon?
Who decided that?
What's that?
Which estimate are you going with?
The one from Freedom, because your gentleman, you weren't sure whether he included all the poles
No,
to
you
put up
never
the
asked me
structure.
about that.
Yeah, last meeting.
I told you he went according to the list that he had.
But
Which
that's
was the
why I
same
asked
list.
you about if he included all the poles, because not all the poles are there, that you have to include poles all the way through. So his will include all material poles and the
I
gate.
will check with him again, I think you should have called him.
But even with putting it in, at least we'll find out if we're a less amount of money, it'll be good. If the commissioners were to award it, so we'll just
We
use
have to
that
have it in this meeting,
tomorrow.
the commissioners meeting.
Then why did you not call me and tell me you needed to know that?
I thought we talked about it the
And
last
I
meeting
told
and you were
he
going
went
to do it.
exactly according to what was listed on the.
You
other
wrote it
one.
down and said you were gonna check and let me know if we hadn't heard anything.
You told me, as I said, I photocopied that and sent that to him, and that's what he went off of. Never mind, I don't want to mess
No,
with
ma'am.
it anymore.
No, we just talked
No,
about it
just
last
forget
meeting
it.
and I asked you if you
Release
had
it
all
from
the
it.
poles
That's enough
figured in. and said you
conversation, I'm
didn't. So I'm sorry
Thank
that
you.
you miscoordinated it.
Thank you,
We'll handle it.
thank you.
You bet. So then with that being said, Joan is working on the hazard mitigation. We'll continue to roll ahead. She's doing a great job on that.
To comment on that, when we were at the commissioners meeting, they did discuss that she had been in a part of a Zoom meeting with them, and they actually, she has more information and more knowledge than what they had, and they were very appreciative of that. And I think that just all is due to the fact of the flood that we had. You know, we've been there. Joan did a lot of research and at that time, and so, but that was good to hear. It's always good to get a good comment from Custer County.
Thank you. Item C, first reading of ordinance number 2.074.0, a supplemental 2022 appropriations ordinance.
Yes. Be it ordained by the town of Hermosa that the following sum is supplementally appropriated to meet the obligations of the municipality. The board allocates and appropriates an additional $524,150 to the original 2022 budget ordinance as follows. Law enforcement, 3,200. Finance, 2,500. Professional fees, expense, attorney, $40,000.
Not me.
Professional fees, expense, engineer, 24,000. Streets, 8,250. Garbage, $4,200. And total appropriations, $82,150. That all came from general fund, and then we have water fund balance of $195,000, and sewer fund balance $247,000.
Thank you. That's the first one. We'll come back to the second then, and next meeting and have it finalized. D, the first reading of Chapter 52 garbage refuge, and then B is Chapter 153 mobile home parks.
14DA, an ordinance to amend the town of Hermosa ordinance chapter 52, garbage and refuse by revising 52.03 yard waste collection to define yard waste collection limiting to residents only for purposes of the town of Hermosa ordinances chapter 52. Be it ordained by the town of Hermosa Board of Trustees that the town of Hermosa amends the town of Hermosa ordinance chapter 52 by revising chapter 52.03 yard waste collection to define yard waste collection limiting to residents only for purposes of the town of Hermosa ordinances chapter 52.
Thank you. And number E,
And 14DB, An ordinance to amend the Town of Hermosa Ordinance Chapter 153, Mobile Homes, Parks, by revising Chapter 153 to remove the possibility of issuing a warrant variance of the 20-year manufactured home regulation for purposes of the Town of Hermosa Ordinances, Chapter 153. An ordinance to amend the Town of Hermosa Ordinance, Chapter 153, mobile homes, parks, by revising Chapter 153 to remove the possibility of issuing a variance of 20-year manufactured home regulations for purposes of the Town of Hermosa Ordinances, Chapter 153.
Is there a section that goes with? I might have misread that before. There should be a section in that one, shouldn't there? Chapter 153 is a lot of ordinances. Is this-
I'm not positive right at the moment.
It's
I can look in. You want me to get the ordinance book?
Oh, yeah. I'll just look. So I don't- Yeah, it goes under mobile home parks, but, so I'm wondering what section that was intended to go on.
52.03.
No, under chapter 153, which is mobile home parks, that's the whole chapter, there's several ordinances. Is there you have section 153.01, and then there's 153.02. Should this be 153.03? Is this a new one?
Well, it's the one on the 20-year or newer
Yeah, I'm trying to-
ordinance,
Says two.
and that's the one that, with P and Z and us, that we wanted it to where we, to remove the possibility of issuing a variance on a 20-year-old manufactured home regulation for purposes of that Town of Hermosa ordinance,
So would this be a new section under that chapter? 150. Because right now we have 153.01, and you have 153.02. Are we amending something that already exists here, or should it be a new section, 153.03? You see?
We're revising it.
Because when they publish this, they're not gonna know where to put this, the people that publish our
right.
amendments.
So
It should be,
it's right here.
where?
So it's right, they're amending this,
Number two?
number 2.
Okay, so it should be section 153.01, parent C2. That's how that means.
C2
Yes,
is what legal
because this
description,
this is what you're amending.
right.
So under the ordinance, we don't need to have a first reading on this, but it'll read, an ordinance to amend the Town of Hermosa Ordinances, Chapter 153, Mobile Home Parks, by revising Chapter 153 to amend Section 153.01, parent C, sub parent 2, okay? That's what it should say.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
So will you
Are you
type
still
that
on the
up?
clock, or? I don't know.
Yeah, I am, for about
Okay.
another
You
week.
see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's how that worked. I must have missed that when you sent
Okay.
it to me the
All right.
first time, so.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right,
Thank
good.
you.
We're all good.
So if you'll type that up and send it to her then, is what you're gonna do, or do we
I
just?
think we got it.
She can send it to me and then I'll verify that it's correct.
Yep,
I know what she's
Do
doing.
we have to do another first reading?
No, that's
Okay.
fine. We just have, it's just a typo.
Okay.
We'll fix next day.
good.
Thank you.
Then we won't need to do another reading on that one. Okay. So then,
Somebody take my water.
you must have drank it.
No?
It's right there, is a
Is this
water.
one?
That's not mine.
Okay.
So item E, is the deposit increase for the utilities?
Yes, since the price will increase by $10, we need to have at least deposit big enough to cover 2 months of the utility bill. So we would suggest to go up to 200 for the deposit, so it would cover the bills that come in if they're late for 2 months.
And are we still getting that deposit back after how long?
After a year.
A
isn't it?
year, isn't that? I mean, that just seems so fast to me.
I think that's what the electric company does.
Is it? Jeez. Telling you.
So we need a motion on that, or we're just good that we're just going to reassure ourselves we're gonna do that?
On the first?
Well, we're in
Motion,
December now. We need a motion.
Yes,
I'll make
Starting
that motion.
effective though on January
January
1,
January 1st.
correct?
yes.
And do I have that motion?
Yeah.
Kramer, second.
Second?
Schumacher. Further discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And then the South Dakota PFAS Cost Recovery Program.
I don't know. I did talk to some other finance officers about this, and they said they will participate as well, since it's at no cost. There's no reason not to do that.
Yeah, which is always a good thing.
Mhm.
Anything to do with South Dakota area rural water.
You know, Keystone sent me this stuff on this thing too, but there was a whole bunch of documents. They wanted a retainer agreement and all
Really?
that stuff, yeah. Is there more that came with this or just this?
That's all I got.
Oh,
So I wonder if we need to ask them if we're gonna move forward with this program, what
yeah. Well, it
paperwork
lays
do
out
we
what we
need?
wanna do. The first step would be to go to this website. www.napola, that's a law firm. I'm not sure where they're from, nationwide.
What did Keystone decide to do on it?
They're gonna talk about it tomorrow.
So will you update us then?
Yeah, I can.
It's the same program.
Yeah. Yeah, but there was lots of documents that went with this deal. And actually, I didn't even see this one from Kurt Fifley in their packet, so.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Cause on the Keystone stuff, there was an actual attorney fee agreement. They wanted to sign, get 25%,
oh, really?
you know, all that stuff, so.
I did not get any of them.
I'll let you guys know at the next meeting.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So we'll carry this over for our next agenda and discuss it at the next meeting then.
Yeah.
It'll be good to have an update on that, so. And next meeting too, I'd like to put it down where, under new business, that we look into possibilities for grants for our generators. I don't know if Midwest Assistance ever punched anything back to us or not. I know when we looked at it with Gail, but it'd be nice to reach out to them. With coming up to the first of the year, they're gonna release a bunch more monies.
Okay.
And if we can qualify, it'd be nice. So I think on the agenda, if you just put
I got all this on that deal.
an item on there, discussion for grants for generators.
Yes, for everybody. That's what Keystone gave me.
And then we can possibly send another email to Midwest Assistance Program and see, because a lot of them people were going to look and see what was out there also for funding. Sound good? Okay. Item 14 is the items for citizens. No action will be taken. 3-minute time limit per speaker. Meetings of the Board of Trustees are open to the public. The audiences may be allowed to comment on specific agenda items during the time allotted on the agenda for those items, according to the established procedures of the board. This is a time for the members of the public to express concerns or discuss issues having relevance to the town. Anyone wishing to address the town board during this time shall be asked to identify themselves. The number of presentations and time allotted to individuals may be limited by the board president, and individuals shall refrain from discussing personalities. The president, at his discretion, may recognize patrons at other times during the board meeting. No action will be taken by the board or any issue related without being first placed on future agenda by the board to allow proper notice. Any citizen input? Yes, sir.
Kind of speaking more for P and Z here than just the citizens, but we were talking earlier about the special meetings. We really, all of us really appreciate it, and it seems like that the board members that are there when we are, there's a lot more information that gets out to everybody than when it's just at our meeting or at you guys's. It seems like it's a better discussion all the way around on almost all the topics, and we thank the board for doing that and sharing that with us.
Thank you. Anybody further?
I agree.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering, Monica, are you a notary yet?
No.
You might want to
Jump on that.
the board on, put it on the agenda or something next meeting or something.
Isn't there a website, you can just go to the state, and fill out the application,
Yeah.
costs like what, $10?
Yeah. But you
Yeah.
must be insured and everything too, so.
Insured?
Fantastic.
I'm not insured, I'm a notary.
You aren't?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, trustee input. Hendrickson.
None.
Schumacher.
None.
Kramer.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. It ain't Christmas yet. It's happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
It isn't Christmas yet.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
And hope Gail liked her
She's done.
I've been very.
I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. We were going to have an executive session tonight, but some of the other members couldn't make it yet tonight, so we'll wait till the next meeting to have the executive session.
Yeah.
Other than that, I hope everybody has a
Who are
good
you waiting
holiday.
for?
P and Z president, correct. So, but anyway, I appreciate everybody tonight, and as far as happy holidays, we'll look forward to the work session, all the items we have going. Hopefully ACES will get things put together, and we'll try to work together in a good conformity and performance. Communication is a big thing. So, motion to adjourn at 7:16.
So moved.
Second.
Schumacher makes the motion, second by Kramer. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
Wow, that was a short meeting.
Yeah, no shit, huh? Good job, girl.
The next, which meeting?